The Inner Niger Delta, a large region of lakes and floodplains, supporting a population of 500,000 in a land that would otherwise be swallowed by the sands of the Sahara Desert. It's a fertile region, providing irrigation for livestock and crops, and supporting a rich ecosystem. This natural wonder is at the heart of Mali's society, economy, and culture. This is Mopti, Mali's busiest port, where the Niger meets the River Bani. Boats from across the whole of Mali pass through this town, an eclectic mix of distinctive neighborhoods and villages, inhabited by a variety of ethnic groups. Many, like the Bozo and Fulani, have traded here for centuries. "50 miles downstream from Mopti is Mali's largest lake, Debo. The rural communities lining its banks are completely reliant on the lake's annual floodwaters to sustain their traditional way of life. The floodplains, marshland, and bush surrounding Lake Debo also support a rich, natural ecosystem. The local communities are expert at exploiting the region's unique flora and fauna.
Cet arbre, c'est un arbre sauvage qui donne pas un fruit mangeable.
This is a wild tree that does not produce edible fruits. It's too difficult to give it a scientific name or a French name, because there are a lot of trees here that do not exist in European countries. And all the trees that you can find in nature may be useful in traditional medicine. This is called moroi because it has many thorns, and therefore it is difficult to approach the trunk. Although it has no edible fruits, it is used in traditional medicine, as are many other plants. For example, this plant, which is located beneath the tree, named Nyama in the Bambara language, or Koigan in Dogon. It is also used in traditional medicine, as well as for clothes dye. With the leaves and bark of this tree, you can extract a useful pigment to change the color of clothes made for various ceremonies, funerals or initiation ceremonies, or clothes of hunters in the brotherhood of traditional hunting. The Niger flows through Mali for 1,400 kilometers, unfolding in a broad course across the desert and plains. Its importance through the ages to Mali civilization has been enormous, opening a trade route that extends from the Gulf of Guinea in the south to Timbuktu and the camel caravans of the Sahara in the north. Completely landlocked, and with the Sahara Desert consuming the whole of the northeastern half of its territory, the lives of the people of Mali have always been intrinsically linked to the country's waterways and the opportunities they open up. The historical importance of the trade routes means complex traditions have been able to grow around goods imported from distant lands.
Donc ces noix de cola sont pas des produits qui sont cultivés.
These are cola nuts, an imported product. They are grown in the Ivory Coast, Senegal, and Ghana. In Mali, they fulfill many traditional uses by all ethnic groups and in many circumstances. For example, when a stranger arrives in a village, to bless his arrival and to receive a warm welcome, it's good that he honors the village head with cola nuts. For us, it is a symbolic gift offered to the elderly, and the juice released by chewing the nuts gives them energy.
Les noix de cola, ils sont utilisés aussi pour les sacrifices et pour les rituels. Donc les sacrifices, tu peux aller c'est un
Cola nuts are also used for sacrifices, rites, and some forms of divination. Today, however, we will use them to make gifts. We will donate them to the village chief, the elderly, and other people who still deserve to receive them. They will then be happy and well disposed to greet and converse with us. This is the village of Goura, Fway, home to a predominantly Puyol community. The village chief is Amadou Ba Aladzi. This is a large village. Many people live here. The population is divided into three categories: fishermen, pastoral farmers, and crop farmers, which correspond to three different ethnic groups that coexist in perfect harmony. The pastoral farmers, who are ethnic pale, live around the village for 8 months of the year, until May arrives. As the temperature rises and the grass starts to dwindle, they embark on a seasonal migration, moving to northern regions for 4 months, after which they return to the village with their flocks. The crop farmers take care of the work in the fields and are able to earn income from the crops of rice and millet. The fishermen, who belong to the Bozo ethnic group, are stationed around the lake for fishing. Seasonally, as the water recedes before the first rains arrive, they are forced to move a few kilometers. The village therefore survives through these three activities: pastoral farming, agriculture, and fishing. How do you see the future of Mali, the future of the village? In the past, people did not have many resources. There was no technology with its developments. There was a lot of experience. There were no schools. Today, there is technology. There is experience. The children go to school. In fact, that was a big change. If people have acquired courage, have the experience, they are willing to do new things, then Mali will be a better country. And if this continues, it will be better than France itself. Today there is work. First, the people did not work, crossed their arms. Today, many who come here For example, tourists ask us, "What do you want?" They ask if we want the gifts, but we do not want gifts. Because if one gets used to receiving gifts, he crosses his arms. Does not work. I ask someone to teach us how to work as it progresses. If they teach you how, you can work better, you can earn some money. Malians have the temperament suited to accommodate and support the efforts that the government is doing on this path of progress. Today, I very much hope that in the course of my life, I will see a country always improving.
Alaka ne balo kasoro ne balo lendo ma iko ne mande alaki son shini kene yalla ina
The neighbouring settlement to Goura Fway is the Bozo village of Goura. Yusuf Sembe is the village chief, and his son is Allai Sembe. In this village, the only ethnic group is that of Bozo. No other races. No ethnic pure. There is no other combination. We survive by three things, from agriculture, livestock, and fishing. I would say that almost the entire village lives from fishing, then cultivating rice, and finally, some livestock. We are a settlement of 700 or 800 people. And do you earn money? In the past, not anymore. There is a shortage of fish. We survive, but my father does not believe that things will improve in the future. If it's already difficult today, what will happen in 10 years, 30 years from now? How will things change? He does not believe that they will change today, because every year there is something that does not work well. Does he believe this way of living is going to come to an end in the face of the tools that technology spreads, such as mobile phones and televisions? There are not many people of the village that have the telephone, the radio, or even the TV. There are in fact few material goods in the village, because people are used to fishing, and they are fewer in number than they are amongst those who emigrate to work in Ségué, to Bamako, or in other places. These are people who are not used to this. I am used to fishing, and I lived through fishing. The Mali tribes are fighting to preserve their way of life, while at the same time opening up to modernity. It's not an easy conflict to solve, made more difficult by the daily challenges the majority of Malians face without respite. Almost a third of the population suffers from malnutrition, and 90% live on less than $2 a day. In recent years, a persistent and progressive drought has greatly diminished the Niger and the other rivers, with devastating consequences. The waters are Mali's only defense against the deserts. Without them, this beautiful country would slide inexorably into the sand. The families of Bozo fishermen who travel up the river each year are finding their migration more and more difficult. Sandbanks and rocky outcrops increasingly impair navigation. Climate change over the last 20 years has reduced the flow of the river by over a third, while the population along its banks continues to increase. The dunes that rise along the banks are a harbinger of the advancing desert. This is the heart of the Sahel, where life is a constant struggle against the encroaching sand. Despite the difficulty of the times, the village chief of Tongloronga, Boubacar Traoré, feels that his people's traditions need not be discarded in the name of modernization. Chief Boubacar, we came here to meet you and learn about the ethnicity of this village. We are Sarakole, from the region of Kays. We are traditionally a nation of travelers and traders. In France, America, wherever you happen to meet immigrants from Mali, Sarakole are certainly there. And by a strange coincidence, we came here to live between Bozo. I do not know why we returned to this region. We live off agriculture, cultivating rice, some fishing, and a small amount of livestock breeding. Traders are a minority. How do you see the future, Chief Boubacar? Before working as a farmer, I was a teacher in the Quranic school. Then, one day, the envoys of the government came and began to hand over documents without explaining what it was, and made those who were not able to read sign them. But today, and for this I thank God, there are schools. Our children are educated. If you present them a document, they tell you what it says. Of course, many things have changed. Before, everything was done by hand. Today, there are machines, canoes. At least many of them have the engines. Traditional transport was by donkey. Today, we have some cars. There are motorcycles. Our suffering is diminished, and I see a possible development. Our children go to school. They are making their brain grow and gaining experiences that form them in a better manner than has been possible for us. I think that the arrival of foreign tourists who come to our village is a good thing, an important thing. Thanks to them, we are able to accomplish many things. They helped us to open schools. Only those who come from here can understand our problems, and once understood, can help us find a solution. I do not think our world will end. Our task is to try and improve it. Improve it in a way that is consistent with our traditions. There is a widespread sense amongst the village chiefs that progress need not mean the destruction of their traditional ways of life. A feeling that progress can be achieved in a way that complements the lifestyles that have existed here for hundreds of years. And this hope for progress seems to cut through Mali society. The hope that development need not necessarily mean westernization. Do you think this livelihood will end? For me, it will end. But nature will not change overnight. Fishermen are proud to do what they do. It's their job, this life. They are people who do not live in large cities. They are used to living on the bank of the river, and most are nomadic, moving continuously along the river. This is their life, as well as farmers living in the fields. Fishermen live always at the edge of the water to make a living. It is also the only resource at their disposal to obtain an income, to meet the needs of the family. So it's a job that will never end. This way of life will not end at any moment. Do you think that these people are happy to live this way? And if so, why? The people are very happy to live this way. They are real people, have their own traditions that are unique to them, a way of life that is not the same as other lives, a little like fish, perhaps. Perhaps the fish are the same as animals that live out of the water. But no, they are not the same thing. You cannot compare a manatee, a hyena. They are not the same thing. The manatee lives in water. Without water, they die. So these are people who preserve their lives, who guard their secrets, hold on to water and the knowledge of the mystery of water. What do you think of Mali and the future for this country? My vision for the future of Mali is, I think there will be progress. Why not? In the past, there was colonization. But long before then, people were real, in the sense that they lived in tune with the world around them. They lived in their own way and had a lifestyle of their own. Then we had Western influence and religion, which led to the change. But later, things have changed again, because people have made some progress. There are schools, people are more open, more educated. There are new resources, intellectual resources, which means that there will still be progress in the future of Mali, either in fishing, in agriculture, in all that is business and economic activity. I think there will be significant development in every field. Mali is intended to progress. Sometimes we suffer the politics of Western circles and others. We may have a different idea of progress, but other than that, we do not have any other problems. I really see the progress, the advance, the rise of the nation. This truly is my vision for what Mali has become, and I have high hopes for what we can become in the future.
Soro